Hi, my name is Aaron Burrows, and today I'm going to be talking about homosexuals and their right to adopt. Is a child better off in the solidarity of a foster home, like miserable and lonely, with no friends, no parents to support them, or would they be better off in the loving care of a homosexual couple? Would a child benefit more from having two abusive, sordid, heterosexual parents than having two generous, loving, caring parents that happen to both be men or happen to both be women? Hundreds of thousands of children on the foster system in America are waiting to be adopted, while homosexual couples in several states are still being denied the right to adopt kids. Although some people believe that children need two heterosexual parents in order to develop correctly, homosexuals should be legally able to adopt and parent children of their own so that children in the foster system will have a home, while homosexuals will gain the same rights as their heterosexual counterparts. So, why is it illegal for homosexual couples to adopt in several states? And why is there still a stigma on homosexuals parenting children? Why is that still a bad thing? Opponents of homosexual parenting argue that homosexual relationships are immoral and that they include instability and domestic violence even, and that normally these would render such households unfit to be granted custody for children. They also claim that children raised by homosexuals develop differently from their peers, and in a flawed way, simply because they're raised by two people of the same sex. And being as this is a predominantly Christian nation, the Bible has a large effect on many people's thought processes, and the few times that the Bible mentions homosexuality, it is against it, like undoubtedly. So of course people are getting their opinions from there, but the thing is that you can't force an entire nation to believe one viewpoint in one single religion. There's something called freedom of religion, and that's supposed to get rid of that. So there's people who refute that homosexual parenting is like, would it be exposing these kids to immoral lifestyle of homosexuals, but they don't realize that homosexuals are people that are capable of love, and they're capable of caring for kids that need a home. And it seems like the opponents of homosexual parenting would rather these kids stay in foster homes without parents than be with homosexual couples. And considering that what these kids really need is a home where they can receive love and support for once, and they can finally feel like they have a family and they can fit in and they won't feel so lost. Considering that that's what they need, I think it's just absolutely ridiculous that homosexuals aren't able to adopt kids in some states simply because they're homosexuals. And while maybe some of these points against homosexual parenting are true, like that they would face adversity from their peers, it still doesn't it doesn't justify the fact that homosexuals can't adopt. Because by outlawing their adopting of kids, it's just telling our children and the children of straight people that it's okay to deny other people that are different from you. It's okay to deny them their own rights. How about instead we teach them to accept people of different kinds, and that it's important that all people have a home and that all people are loved. We could teach our kids that instead of the lesson that it's okay to be prejudiced against people that are different to you, or to deny them the same rights, because that's what's being taught right now to kids, and that's not okay. But despite all these objections, and that people, despite all the opinions and facts against homosexual parenting, the American Psychological Association states that there isn't a scientific basis for concluding that lesbian mothers or gay fathers are unfit parents in any way solely based on their sexual orientation. There's no basis for that. In fact, some studies have even shown that homosexual parents may be superior at parenting than heterosexual parents. And if this is the case, why is homosexual parenting oftentimes looked down upon as opposed to encouraged? In fact, if you want to put numbers on this whole debate, there are 650,000 American children in the foster care system, just in America, not even in the rest of the world. But 650,000 kids waiting for homes, and there are 2 million homosexual couples looking to adopt. I mean, the solution to satisfy both of these parties is, it just seems logical. Like, proponents of homosexual marriage argue that the ability of a couple to parent a child effectively has nothing to do with their sexuality, but with their parenting skills and their love for the child. If all homosexuals in the nation were allowed to adopt and parent children, the stigma against homosexual parenting that's currently on it now would be completely erased. And then if that stigma was erased, then these kids that were adopted by homosexual parents, they wouldn't be bullied by their peers, because it would be a normal thing, it'd be accepted, and that's what we need. It needs to be accepted that love is the first priority. If that's the case, then kids won't bully other kids for having two parents of the same sex. In fact, it won't even be a big deal, and that's what we need to strive for as a nation. And if equality, which all Americans are entitled to via the Constitution, was truly encouraged and upheld, this wouldn't be an issue, and homosexuals would be allowed to foster children jointly or individually. However, that's not fully the case. But progress is being made. Some states are getting on board, and it's becoming legal. But the deal is that it needs to become completely legal, because it's not fair that some states are not allowing homosexuals this right. I mean, it's against the law to be prejudiced like this, yet it's still going on. There's no basis at all that homosexual parents are worse parents than heterosexual parents. There's no basis that it's an unfit lifestyle to raise a child in. There's absolutely none. There's none. Yet it's still being outlawed, and these horrible arguments that homosexual parents can't parent correctly or effectively is like, they're not facts. They're ridiculous. They're opinions. They're not factual. And the fact that those are being like said is absolutely unjust, and that needs to change. If America truly wants to be the face of equality and justice like it's trying to be, then it needs to indiscriminately grant the same rights to each of its citizens. And homosexuals deserve to adopt kids just like heterosexual couples.